Hello, guys. I hope you're all keeping safe in this season of craziness. I'm praying all of you are well. Um, but something happened to me yesterday that I felt like I need to share, and I think it's important that um, you know I, we talk about some of these things, especially in this moment of craziness, as we are all losing our minds over this whole COVID situation. But this is what happened yesterday. So, gyms are closed. Everybody's home. I can't go out to the gym to work out. So, what I've had to do is just, work out in my own little space in my apartment a little bit. And yesterday, because, we are home. I'm eating a lot. I'm just trying to make sure that I institute a bit of a balance so I don't come out of this disproportionate in my physique. So yesterday evening, I did my usual workout. Worked out. I played some music, dance. My usual. And then after as I was getting ready to jump in the shower, I hear my doorbell ring. Now, anybody who knows me knows that my doorbell never rings because I never have unexpected visitors. Most of the time, even if my friends are coming up and they ring the bell from downstairs, I usually come and meet them at the door. Especially if they're carrying things up, I want to meet them at the door to see if I can help them, whatever. So I was a little bit taken aback when my doorbell rang because nobody rings my bell. I mean, I don't have unexpected visitors. So I was wondering, is it like who is this stray? Who is this stray that is ringing my doorbell? And so I was not sure who it was. I thought perhaps it was a food delivery person who was ringing the wrong doorbell. Anyway, whatever it was, I rushed to the door and I looked through the peephole, and it was this young white lady standing on the other side of the door. So I asked, "Who is it?" And she responded, "Oh, your neighbor downstairs." Now, I was not properly dressed because I was getting ready to jump in the shower, and I was not about to be arrested for indecent exposure. So I told her, "Hold on a minute." I rushed to the room, put on a pair of pants and a wife beater, and then I opened the door. Now, before I could say hello, before I could utter any salutations, this woman goes into this endless rant about how I'm making so much noise and how dare you make so much noise. And I have a little child downstairs with her hand, and mind you, she's like this with her hand on her waist. I don't know whatever the hell you're doing up here. You need to stop. This needs to stop. I've been trying to be very respectful, and this needs to stop. So in that moment, I was just so surprised and taken aback. I was trying to figure out even how to respond. I couldn't find the words to respond in the moment to what was going on. So I was just silent. I was combing through my head, trying to figure out how do I respond graciously to this attack, because she was just fibbing, really. And when she noticed I wasn't saying anything, she goes into this mode of, okay, so what is it going to be? Yes, no, you're going to stop? Oh, Lord, this is crazy. Um, Now, I've learned a long time ago that if you can't say something nice, don't talk at all, is my advice. So, in that moment, I realized that anything that would come out of my mouth would not be gracious, it would not be kind, it would not be good. So, what I did in that moment was I allowed the door to slam itself in her face. Notice I didn't say I slammed the door in her face. I allowed the door to slam itself in her face. I mean, seriously, 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 what made her think that she could come to my door and talk to me like that? Now let's walk through this logically, one step at a time. Was I playing my music? Yes. Was I exercising above her? Yes. I mean, we are quarantined. Where else would I where else would I go to exercise? Did she have a right to come up to me and tell me that perhaps the noise was too much for her, or that, I needed to tone it down? She has every right to do that. But what she didn't have the right to do was come and stand in front of my door and talk to me like I was her child. That she didn't have a right to do. That was disrespectful, and that was uncalled for. Disrespectful and uncalled for. Hello, good evening. I am sorry to bother you, but I have a little child downstairs. I'm your neighbor downstairs, and I have a little child downstairs who's trying to fall asleep. Could you please tone down the music? Of course, no logical human being would not be understanding of the situation and turn it down. But for you to come and stand in front of me and talk to me like I'm some child, and to assert your privilege, and try to talk down at me like I'm inferior to you, is not what I'm going to have. That is not acceptable. I know we're going through a lot with all this coronavirus thing, but please, this is not the time. This is not the time. This is not the time. If you're going crazy with all that's going on, that's perfectly fine. But you need to think. I always tell my staff, it's not about what you have to say. If you want somebody to receive a message appropriately and respond appropriately, it is how you go about projecting that message. It's not what most of the time that gets lost. It's how. How. Please. This is not the time. This is the time for, I'm exercising and the noise is too loud. And what? My lease does not have a stipulation on the decibel of noise that I need to limit my music to. It doesn't have anything to suggest that I can't exercise in the confines of my own home. I pay my rent just the same way as you pay your rent at the beginning or end of the month. I pay my rent. The only difference is now I'm spending a little bit more time in that space, aside from just coming home to sleep. That's the only difference now. So if we're all going crazy over this whole thing and we are all anxious, I understand, I get it. We are all anxious about this whole thing. We don't want to get sick. We are all worried about our loved ones and things, this, that, and the other. But what you won't do is disrespect other people. What you can't do is disrespect other people. What I'm making all, and what? You're gonna call the cops? The cops have better things to do. People are dying. Okay? Please, let's not make this the time that this is the time that we're supposed to be working together and being respectful of each other. This is not the time. This is not the time to be going at each other. So I just wanted to hop on and just kind of rant a little bit. The message really is, it's not about what you have to say. It's about how. Let's just be careful and cautious about how we communicate with other people, so that the message is not lost in the emotion and the feelings around it, so that the message is received appropriately. If you want the message to be received appropriately, you have to think about how you project the message. She had all the opportunities she needed to think about what it meant to say all the things that she was about to say, and think about how it was going to be received. She's a human being. She needs to be able to put herself in other people's shoes and be able to think about how to respond, or how to actually project messages so that the response is more pleasant and not confrontational. She had all the opportunities to do that. So anyway, let's be kind to each other in these times, in these very, very hard times. Let us be kind to each other, and let us not go around ranting and raving and creating a mess because we have a misplaced ego and assumed privileges. I hope this touched you. I hope this helped you. Please, let's be kind to each other. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Be safe. Please be safe. All right. Bye.